Guten Morgen, mein Lieblinger. That's German for good morning, my darlings. Today I'm doing a test of some trim dressings. Now, the reason I'm doing that is I really like GYEON Trim. And I've used it before, not on the channel yet though. I think it's very good, it lasts very well, about 18 months. It's a fantastic product. However, it has to be used inside and really left to cure overnight. That is a downside. You can't top it immediately with GYEON Cure to help it cure and go out. You can use a heat lamp on it apparently, but I don't have one of those. £50 to get a handheld one, but it needs to be on the surface for at least 10 minutes. You want one on the stand, really, you're looking at about 150 quid for a cheap one. Who wants the cheapest things when you're doing these jobs, especially if you're paying for stuff like ceramic coatings? So, I would like a long-lasting dressing that exists that I can use outside. Now, a lot of people suggest Solution Finish, or there's an equivalent one by Brightmax as well. They're both very good, but they are kind of black dyes, effectively, in their product, which is fine unless you're using grey plastics, working on grey plastics, sorry. And that's what I'm doing today, and that's what this test is going to be on. So I was asking around, and on the Detailing World forums, I had a suggestion from one of the users to get Nanolex Trim Rejuvenator. This goes on, lasts about 9 months. That's their claim, but also this user's experience of it has been it's 6 to 9 months. That's pretty good. Bearing in mind it goes on very easily, apparently, and dries very quickly, and it can be driven straight away. Like when I say quickly, I mean dries within minutes. But very easy to apply. It kind of like rejuvenates the oils in the plastic, so it gives it a nice, long-lasting finish. So I'm really looking forward to giving that a go and seeing how it transforms the plastics. I've got a Peugeot 2008 in today to do, which has got some big grey bumpers on it. So it's a fantastic test for this. But by way of comparison, and that's I find the best way of doing these product reviews and tests, I can't compare it to GYEON Trim purely because I can't get that to cure in the time. But what I can get it to compare to is something like Auto Finesse Revive, which is a pretty good wipe-on trim dressing. The issue is, like with many of these things, as soon as it rains, they just fall off. That is not supposed to be the case with Trim Rejuvenator. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do the whole car in Trim Rejuvenator, but a small section on the front bumper, I'm going to do a little test where I'm going to do a portion of it in the Auto Finesse Revive, portion it with this, do a stripe in the middle under tape, which will be a control section, and then as I will need to apply the Trim Rejuvenator eventually to make sure it's got a consistent finish, I will try and wash this off and see how quickly this comes off versus a portion that has been done with the Trim Rejuvenator, so we can do a bit of side-by-side comparison. That was a lot of words. I'm now going to just do a lot of action instead. All right, I'll see you out by the car. Okay, so far these bumpers have had a clean with citrus pre-wash and built handle auto foam, scrub with a brush, agitated with a detail brush as well in the tighter bits, and then a pressure wash rinse. Now, to make sure they're extra clean again before doing the rest of the application of the Trim Rejuvenator, I'm going to give them a clean with Built Handler Surfex HD with a detail brush, and this is at about 15:1. I just want to make sure these are as clean as possible to make sure that the Trim Rejuvenator has got the cleanest surface to adhere to, and therefore it's adhering to the surface and not the mud. And to that end, prior to actually applying it, I will give it an IPA wipe down as well. This may be overkill, but I really want this to last, so I can't see it being a bad thing. So that badge needed a bit more, so a bit of Surfex on that too. While it's soaking in the bumper, I'm going to work on the badge. Okay, so there we go, all washed up. I'm now going to wash the whole of the car, so it'll be rinsed off again at some point. I'll then blow dry it, I'll bring you back to that part, and then get on with the dressing application. We're at the back bumper, not the front bumper, and that's because it's a lot cooler in here. The front's still in sun. And getting pretty warm. So what I'm going to do is, as I said earlier, is basically dress the bumper. Now I'm going to leave a little bit on that corner and do that with the Auto Finesse just for the sake of comparison. I'm going to do the rest of it, and I'm going to do all this bit first with the Nanolex, and we shall see. So yeah, Nanolex Trim Rejuvenator, small foam applicator. They say put a small amount on, spread evenly and buff off the excess. So that's what I'm going to do. Now it's got a dropper. So this is the first time I'm using this, so you're going with me. It's got a dropper, so a few drops on here. There we go. Quite a thick, viscous substance. Looks quite nice. No odour, which is good. Let's get this go then. Well, it goes on quite thick there, so you definitely don't need much on the application. It spreads out quite well, very easily. Yeah, going on very nicely. We'll come back to those tight bits in a minute. That's nice. It goes on really nice. You can see it covering up. It goes on like a traditional trim dressing. That said, Gyeon Trim looks like you apply it and it goes on, but you know you're doing something a bit different with Gyeon Trim, and you know you have to do the cross hatching to get the best results and stuff like that. Whereas on this, I'm sure you can. It's a good way to apply any product, but doesn't seem to need it, which is good. Just gonna work my way around the top portion. I'm gonna stop at this mark. I don't think you can see there's like a scratch in the bumper, and do the other side of that bit with the Auto Finesse for comparison. See this untreated bit here? What I'll do is I'll do this part here in Auto Finesse, this part, we're stripping the middle, this part with an Nanolex. So I'll come back and do that in a sec. I'm going to do the Auto Finesse over here. Yeah. Always does smell nice, the Auto Finesse stuff, I have to say. So instantly, visually, looks very good, doesn't it? Very wet product, very thin. Well, not very thin, so, yeah, in comparison. Anyway, it spreads on nicely, and it leaves a nice finish. I have to say that this is probably my favourite regular one. Okay, now we go with this. This is the Nanolex. We'll go with this. Should say what this is, shouldn't we? So you see, it spreads a bit slower. You know, the Auto Finesse just spreads on like it's water-based. Like it's really obvious that's what it is when you're applying it. I think, to me, to my eyes anyway. But the Nanolex goes on really easy. Like it's not difficult in any stretch of the imagination. And you can see. I look at this and I think, obviously that's the control section. That clearly, the Auto Finesse is not as even and is a patchy finish compared to this. In my eyes, that's what I can see. What can you lot see from this? Me being here and live, that is pretty obvious. So I'm going to go around and do the rest of the car now. Let these two cure off and then dry off, and then come back and wash this bit and this bit with a bit of Surfx HD, and we'll see which bit actually shifts. My money's on that falling off and that being absolutely fine, but let's see. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes now, maybe 10. I've gone around the whole car. Like I said, this has certainly gone off. This is the Nanolex. This is the Auto Finesse. They don't feel too different under glove, although this has probably got some Nanolex on the fingers. Anyway, here's the wash test, okay? I'm not going to do like a 10 wash test or anything like that. Not Apex Detail. I'll leave them to that, they're very good at it. Surfx HD, 15:1, or 1:15. However you want to think about it. Let that dwell for a minute. Do a bit of agitation, not a minute, 20-30 seconds. It's still dwelling, all right, while I'm doing the agitation. A bit more on to good luck. Mainly because I really want this Auto Finesse to come off now. So I can put the Nanolex on this bit too. It's alright. It will come off eventually. Well, you can clearly see where the Surface was. You can see where the Nanolex was, the control. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of difference there, does there? Now then, my observation for that is this can take longer to go off than the few minutes I've given it. Almost like give it a day, kind of see, even a few hours, and see where you're at then. I won't be able to test that, this vehicle's got to go back to its owner. But based on the recommendations, I still think this will be better. It went on nicely actually, it feels really good, it looks lovely on it. And I think I get to see this car every day, so I'll be able to keep a report on it really and let you know how we get on. But I still wouldn't say no to the Nanolex. It was actually easier to apply, I think, or maybe more satisfying to apply, I don't know. It went on easily, it's very nice, looks very nice. It definitely gave a better finish, I felt, as well. The Auto Finesse was, I think, quite patchy still. The Nanolex, which is what's going on here, was very solid. So I'm very pleased with that. Plus, I mean, it's the detergent, so it's a strong mix of detergent that will strip a lot of stuff. So, yes, there you go. Lovely bumpers. End of review. Would I get it? Yes, at the moment I would. But maybe wait for me to come back to this see it in a month and see how it's gone. Okay, thanks very much.